Hello, world! Welcome to the train room. This is the room where I keep a lot of trains. I have been debating on several different video ideas for showing off this room that I have now just for trains. And I was hoping that the video could be made under better conditions and better circumstances, but something crazy happened today while I was at work, and the second I turned on my phone's ability to connect to the internet, which I leave my phone in my bag while I'm at work. I do not like to be bothered while I'm at work. Oh man, just an upload of crazy alerts from social media sites and stuff talking about a shooting. Charlie Kirk, at the time of me making this video, has just been shot and I think possibly confirmed dead. This video, of course, will be uploaded maybe an hour or two after it has been recorded, so I don't, everything I'm saying was with a grain of salt. We barely have any time to learn these facts and stuff. And I wasn't going to make any videos like this, especially political videos, but recently, just the slew of craziness that has been happening in the world. And normally I don't like to touch on politics too much because it's divisive and it makes people upset, and I want to have a happy channel where everyone gets along. But anymore, it has to be said, you have to stand up to evil when it's happening. You have to. They came for the Jews, and I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. They'll come for me one day. So this is me speaking up and condemning evil when I see it. So this is me condemning evil. If you support the shooting of a person because of some political ideology they support, which, let's face it, Charlie Kirk is not that interesting. The ideals he's supporting were common and abundant throughout all of America, not in the 1800s, but in the 90s, in the 10s. Everyone, you wouldn't have found anyone to disagree with him in the 90s. You wouldn't have. So if you support him being shot for his political ideology, you support the killing of 90% of the US population. Even if you've changed your mind and gone, I've grown as a person, I'm so different now. So what? You were a different person back then, and so was your mother and father, and so were your grandparents and your great-grandparents. You're supporting the murder of all of those people because, oh, well, he's the one who voiced it. What? What? Ridiculous, unacceptable. I condemn it. If you support this attack, you are a disgusting, disgraceful human being. I do not acknowledge you as my fellow American. I don't even know what you are. You're not a human being. I have no idea what you are. Some alien. You live long and prosper because you ain't no human. Nope. Not one of me. I don't recognize you. Sorry. Bye-bye. But it is disgusting and disgraceful. And the reason I'm making this video is because I got a little concerned. A while back, there was a shooting, a mass shooting up against a bunch of children by some maniac who wanted to make himself infamous. I shall be important because I'll shoot at all the children. And he even made a video saying practically that. This has nothing to do with anything. It's just me glorifying my own mental illness. Ignore this motion. YouTube, ignore this motion. This is just a crazy person motion that crazy people do. It is certainly not me describing him doing some weird act. But that's what he was doing. He was just basically saying, this is going to be what makes me special, and I'm glorifying my own mental illness, which is so common nowadays. When I was in school, public schools wanted us to glorify our own mental illness. They taught us to glorify our own mental illness and to make it feel like, oh, this makes me important, this makes me special, this makes me above others. So I don't want to hear any bullcrap like in the comments going, oh, this, that, and the other. I invented it, dude. I'm a millennial. I'm part of the generation that invented all of this psychological bullcrap to make ourselves feel more important than we actually are, to justify any evil action we could do in the moment to make ourselves feel righteous while doing evil, to feel good about doing something bad but say it's okay because it's something righteous. No, it's not. Even if you're doing it for righteous reasons, you should feel bad. Sometimes in life, you should feel bad. If a criminal breaks into my house right now and shouts loudly, "I have a baby and I shall insert horrible thing to this baby, that right here, and I will do it unless you shoot me," I'll shoot him dead. And I will feel bad about it. Because when you kill someone, you're supposed to feel bad. That's part of being a good person. Even if you're justified in doing it, you have to feel bad. That's humanity. You're supposed to have humanity. But anyway, what concerned me was that killer that scribed a whole bunch of crazy stuff onto his gun, which this is a toy gun. This is a toy gun. It is a toy. It is not real, YouTube. It is a toy gun. Stupid YouTube algorithm. So he scribed a bunch of crazy stuff on the side of his real gun, which this is a toy gun. He scribed Brandon Herrera and stuff, and like Donald Trump this and that, and rip and tear until it's done. He inscribed as many crazy edgelord things on his gun as he could to make himself feel important and special. And then he went like a crazy maniac. And what concerned me is I used to have a gun YouTube channel. I have now abandoned it, and I don't think I'll be going back to it anytime soon. Guns are more like a personal hobby. I just can't be bothered to record it. I don't have a good setup for it. Maybe someday I'll go back to it, because no act of violence is going to stop me from doing what I love. Screw you, you know. But it made me think, what if one of my videos was used? What if they wrote Timber 22 on a gun that they were going to hurt someone, an innocent person with, that has done nothing wrong? That'd be horrible. That'd be awful. So I'm going to add to the number of few voices, very few voices, condemning these acts of violence. I will condemn this act of ridiculous violence, and I will stand up for good old American values, because America's values are stronger than evil. That is a fact. At the end of the day, American values are stronger than evil. And I will condemn the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has chosen to side with evil one too many times, and now I condemn them. And I can say that because I don't have to play the stupid both parties are equal game. Yeah, they're equally horrible. The party system itself is horrible, independent. So I feel nothing as I say it's the Democrats' fault. I am safer around a Republican than I am with a Democrat, and that is just a fact. If you're a Democrat and you feel you're exempt from that statement, change the way things are done in your party. Or you know what? Change to another party. Let's make the Democrat Party go away forever. You know, they're the ones who did the Civil War. They're the ones who did slavery. They're the ones who did the Jim Crow era. And nowadays are trying to bring back weird phrases like colored person. Ugh. They're always the ones doing the violence. They're always the ones doing all these problems. Get rid of them. New party. Bring up a new party. I don't care what it is. Bring up the Federalist Party. Ugh. Federal government. Bring up any party to replace the Democratic Party. And Republican Party, become relevant again. You're so irrelevant. You were founded under the ideals of anti-polygamy and anti-slavery. Well, we don't have slaves, and polygamy has been, all of the poisonous parts of it have been neutered. It's no longer the ownership of multiple women. It is now an equal partnership with multiple individuals that could be men or women. So what are you still doing around here, Republicans? What do you functionally do? I don't see you standing up and doing anything. And the only ones really voicing your party are like Donald Trump, a Democrat from the 90s. Donald Trump is the most left-wing person I can think of to just randomly throw up out of Hollywood. Like, he's not right-wing. Y'all realize that, right? I remember Home Alone. I remember the 90s. The dude doesn't seem right-wing to me. I don't know. I mean, I guess the ideals he's spouting nowadays are right-wing. I mean, everyone tells me that I'm right-wing. Oh, you support gay marriage. You're right-wing. What? Huh? But I'm going to reply right now to a comment I know some leftist wing-wong is typing in their little computer thinking they're so smart. I think Republicans will right now support gun control because one of theirs got shot. No, they won't. I won't. It doesn't matter how many shootings happen. It doesn't matter who you shoot or what acts of violence you perpetrate. You leftist wing-wongs who support gun control. You leftist wing-wongs who supported gun-free sacred zones. You leftist wing-wongs who are trained and radicalized inside of college campuses. You leftist wing-wongs who inside of a college campus chose to bring a gun because we know it was you, desecrate everything you believed in, and then shoot some guy who disagrees with you, verbally disagrees with you. You do not put your money where your mouth is. You don't believe in gun control. You think that guns are a tool that make you feel special. You think that guns are magic and that once you have one, now I can do anything I want. Guns are not alive. Guns are not magic. Guns do not make you feel special. The reason you are so afraid of them is because you're afraid of yourself. You don't trust yourself and you don't trust people. You think that all people are just evil, lesser than monkey people that have to submit themselves to degrees of compliance to some political narrative. And only when you ascend beyond a normal humanity may you become a police officer, may you become a senator. And then you go to war with the very people you say have ascended. You say that only police should have guns, then you don't support the police. Well, why would you give them all your guns? You say you don't trust the government, then give them all your guns. Everything about leftist wing-wongism, everything about the Democratic Party is morally corrupt, ass backwards, and completely nonsensical. And I'm an independent saying that. I don't want to ever can be considered a Republican. To me, I don't want to be an ism or an ist. I just want to be me. I just want you to be you. And I want us to be able to have rational discussions in this world without it being crazy. So, you ever seen this? Some of these different texts and writings? This is not something right-wing. This is just basic foundational literature of our country, which you should have. If you consider this right-wing, you're the problem, you're a freak, you're disgusting. This is just basic stuff that you need. And this is the stuff that protects you. Here is the U.S. Constitution and it's the U.S. Constitution and other key American writings. And in the U.S. Constitution, I am willing to bet that I can find the page on the Bill of Rights pretty quickly. Probably on camera. The Bill of Rights. I know this is a grim video, but look at this. The Bill of Rights is on, if I could get this to focus. Oh, I can't get it to focus. The Bill of Rights is on page 111. I'm wearing a Fallout jacket. That's awesome. But sorry about that. Camera messed up there. But back to my point. This is the Bill of Rights. In the Bill of Rights, it clearly says that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free expression thereof, or abhorring the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a rigorance of grievances. Now what that basically means is, for anyone who for some reason needs that translated, is Congress, our own government, at the highest level, can do nothing to stop you from just walking up in a park and talking. Whether it's about religion or about your controversial views or whatever. And those of you who disagree with someone else understand that that is written not to protect you to say something you like, but to protect someone else from saying something you dislike. That's what it's for. That's what we used it for, to pass things like the right for gay people to get married, to pass any of the number of bills that gave more and more people increasing and ever increasing freedom. It all started with this. This is not something old and yoli to be thrown away. This is the foundation. It's the foundational brick that was first laid down to allow you the freedoms to make the world that you now have so many grievances with. And it allows you to continue to resolve those grievances. It's not some weird uphill battle that you'll never win. It's a battle you'll probably already have won. Public schools have radicalized so many people, and now those children radicalized by public schools are now in like their 30s. Like they're in their 30s. They're my age. I was radicalized by a public school, and I realize I was radicalized by one now. I was told so many lies. I was told the Republican Party ran the South during the Civil War. Lie. I was told there was some kind of political switch in which all politicians swapped over and they traded parties. Let's go. Nope. Lie. Never happened. No one switched. No one switched sides. Hillary Clinton goes right back to slavery. Sorry. Nope. It is a direct beeline. No sides were switched, nothing, no. So that's so foundational to allow you the freedoms that supposedly you're willing to kill, to change, and no, bullcrap. Person's crazy, person's lost their mind, person just wants infamy and freedom, or not freedom, but infamy and famedom, he wants to be famous. It's ridiculous. Sorry if I'm ranting and not really going anywhere with this. But, so, this douchey bastard who did this awful thing is going to probably be supported by people on the left. If you support him, then you're against your own freedoms. If you support anyone who has done this kind of violence just to get some weird point across that probably doesn't even matter, you're undermining your own point. You're undermining everything that should have ever mattered. And of course, before anyone says it, oh, will you now support gun control now that someone you like has been killed? Well, first off, I don't like Charlie Kirk. He's just a guy. He's just a guy that says things that are sometimes funny, sometimes not. I imagine I would disagree with him heavily if we were to ever actually be talking about the issues I want to talk about. I'm an atheist. I am an independent. There's a lot we have to disagree on. But I would sooner die than allow him to be silenced. Although I wholly disagree with some of the things him, Matt Walsh, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, although I wholly disagree with all these different figures and what they say, I would sooner die right here and now than disallow them the freedoms to say those things. Because the only speech worth protecting is the speech I disagree with. If it's something I agree with, it's probably not that much worth protecting because it's probably the norm. And the state will always agree with the popular opinion. They're the state. That's what they do. Now then, right under the First Amendment is the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is a toy gun only for the purposes of keeping YouTube okay with this video. We got something else over there just off camera I would love to show off, but I never know how the future's going to be with these unconstitutional actions by companies. So toy gun just to show it off and just to have a prop to talk about. Plus a toy gun is safer. Don't want to pull an Alec Baldwin. I am perfectly protected in saying that. That is a reference to the horrible tragedy that occurred. You know, don't want to pull an Alec Baldwin. I'm allowed to make that reference. Freedom of speech, baby. And that's not defamation. That is accuracy. So you have the Second Amendment. Now, some people would say, aren't you going to be like a crazy person and defend an amendment that doesn't matter? Well, what amendment doesn't matter? I'm fairly certain right around here is the amendment that says soldiers shall not be quartered. Yeah, Third Amendment. You want to talk about something? Okay. No soldier shall, in a time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in a time of war, but in manner to be prescribed by law. So what that means is they may not stick a U.S. soldier in your house. And you think, oh, that's ridiculous. We can get rid of that one. Could you imagine if a politician got up and wanted to get rid of the Third Amendment? Let's get rid of it. It's vestigial. The only reason you'd want to even so much as breathe on that amendment is if you want to quarter soldiers. Well, maybe if there's a hurricane, we might need to use your home to stage something. No, you don't. You can set up your own tents. You do not need my home. That is the fastest way to end up in tyranny, is start affecting your core beliefs and values. The only thing government does with power is find ways to abuse it. You touch the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, or the Third Amendment, and you end up in tyranny. All of those are easily abused things, and the state has shown abundantly that they abuse them. So I condemn the violence towards Charlie Kirk. I condemn the violence that was committed towards Donald Trump. I condemn the violence towards a random Ukrainian woman on public transit. That was done for no reason other than leftist cities have gone completely insane and refuse to support basic decency and common law. And yes, you can arrest your way out of homelessness. It is possible. You can just arrest people, make them miserable for a while, and then stop them from doing crimes. And once they're done doing crimes, they might decide, hey, I don't want to be homeless anymore. And a person's homeless status doesn't allow them to do illegal things. I can't believe some of the absolute ridiculous stuff I've been hearing from left-wing media. Like, what are you doing? And Fox News is not right-wing media. It's fake right-wing media that's controlled by left-wing media. And that's so abundantly clear. They might have right-wing people on occasionally to view some garbage talking points back to their right-wing audience, but they're not right-wing media. Like most right-wing people I know, they don't watch Fox News. They go to their social medias, they go to X, they go to something like that. That's what they are on. I personally try to stay out of it all, but it's so ridiculous. It's so disgusting. It's so anti-American. It's so anti-freedom. It's so anti-everything that has ever mattered to us. Here's an interesting point about gun control, too. So, in California, where gun control is incredibly high, almost as high as in Chicago, where, you know, if you want to go to a dangerous place in the U.S., just go to a place where there's lots of gun control. Now you're in danger. Because without gun control, everyone's a victim. Everyone's always waiting for the police. But the police are who you're complaining about. So wash, rinse, repeat. It's just this infinite feeding cycle of violence. And unfortunately, in order to end the cycle, you have to do things you're not happy with having to do. So that means victims have to fight back and no longer be victims. And that will require a little bit of blood. Yes, actual blood. The tree of liberty, baby. It's got to be watered by the blood of both tyrants and patriots alike. That means a woman who's about to be raped has to do something nasty to that rapist. He has to be on the ground. His mother has to cry, "My baby, he only raped maybe 4 of 5 women, he didn't deserve this. You have every right to feel that way, madam. You have the right to say that. But we also have the right to say we don't care. And a woman has a right to not be touched over your son's desire to touch her inappropriately and then just be released from jail 5 days later. But in California, which has such strict gun control, there's a gun that is banned not because of what comes out of the barrel, because of the mechanical configuration of the gun declaring it unsafe for civilians to carry. Why? Why is it unsafe for civilians to carry? And they say, well, it doesn't have proper safety features and really no one should be carrying it. Really? It's about public safety. Maybe I'll accept that. Maybe that's a common sense gun law. I don't typically believe in common sense gun laws, but that sounds legit. The police officers carry them in large number. Police officers carry a gun that is declared unsafe for civilians to carry, not because of its ability to fire, because that would be unconstitutional, but its safety configuration with how the trigger and how that thing is set up. Officers carry them. Immediate tyranny. Just straight beeline to tyranny. What the hell? So you can't trust the government, you can't trust the state. The media is run by leftist wing-wongs. Leftist wing-wongs have completely degraded and destroyed everything about our culture. And they just keep on going. So enough. It's time for us to actually support American values again. And I'm doing that right here and now. I support the First Amendment. I support the Second Amendment. I support the Third Amendment. I support all the applicable amendments in the Bill of Rights which guarantee my freedoms. And I heavily suggest that if you're someone who disagrees with that in any capacity, you should purchase some kind of hard physical copy of some of the foundational texts of our country. It doesn't have to be this one. This is not a product promotion. It doesn't have to be this, but it could be this if you wanted it to be. Purchase it. Read it. I have dyslexia. I can't read or write very well. I have to have a machine read it to me. And I sit there quietly and I read some of the foundational text on my listening machine. And it tells me how America was constructed and what makes it so amazing. And you'll never have this anywhere else. The Ukrainians had a place to run when their country went to crap. Right? And people from Venezuela had a place to run when their country went to crap. People from Mexico have a place to run when their country goes to crap. People from Canada, oh my goodness, Canada right now. People from Britain gave up their gun rights. Immediately their government started working on the other rights, and now they're getting arrested for flying their own country's flag because it's against the law or whatever. They all have a place to run when their country goes to crap. America has no place to go. You have no place to go when your country goes to crap, Americans. That's all of us. You have nowhere to run. There is nowhere that will accept you. There is nowhere that will take you in. There is nowhere they'll say, come little American who has trouble with, we'll allow you to buy property. Nope, won't happen. And all you rich Americans who think you're protected, you're not. The second the American dollar loses all its value, the second you're not protected by the power of the U.S. military, the second America stops being a world thing, you just become some weird rich guy from another country. Any country would gladly just scoop up your wealth, take it for their own private assets, and then you can just be put in the wood chipper. They don't care. You're not safe. The foundations of freedom themselves got attacked today. Not just Charlie Kirk. Because think about it. Left-wing people support gun control. University is a gun-free zone, which they say is sacred. University is a place of learning and study and deliberation and talking and bleh. And we're in a event at the university, and we have private security, and we have people to protect us, and all this stuff. And so on and so forth. And yet, some guy brings in a gun and shoots a guy. all bullshit. In the words of George Carlin, it's all bullshit and it's bad for you. So, this rant video over. I will never regret making this video. Normally I regret my rant videos, but I will never regret this one. I hope you have a safe day. I hope you will always be safe where you are. Although you will not always be safe, I hope you will. Do not ever allow yourself to be granted the feeling of safety, because that is a lie, and anyone offering it to you likely has a dagger behind their back. But I hope you are safe, and if you're not safe, if ever there's a time in which someone wants to go crazy and kill you or whatever, I hope that our government allows you the freedom to defend yourself. I hope you can find safety once more, reunite with your loved ones and family members, and once again, re-embrace the American dream. And I hope that that experience of not being safe for a moment does not impact you to the point where you're willing to run to the arms of someone who would immediately put you in the fire. And this goes to anyone. If you're a Democrat, I hope nothing bad like this happens to you. Because it shouldn't. This is America. We're better than this. And if something bad like this happens in front of you, if you have the opportunity to, if you're on public transit, some guy goes crazy, pulls out a knife, starts stabbing a woman, I hope you are American enough and strong enough to actually stand up to the evil happening right in front of you, before your eyes. Because you should. And that's all I really have to say about this rant video. I'll never regret making it, not for one single second. I will never yield my constitutional rights. It will never happen. Shoot me dead where I stand, it's the hill I'll die on. And I wish you all the best of luck in everything you ever do. And I hope that those of you who are ignorant enough to support and condone these kind of acts of violence, I hope that you grow a brain, get some sense about you. I hope that you eventually wake up and realize that all you were doing was destroying what allowed you to live, what allowed you to be you and who you are. And I hope one day you grow to regret saying those things, because the last thing you want is to go back in time. There's nothing in the past for you. You yourselves are the one who say that. In the past, there's only more suffering for your ideals. So why are you doing and destroying something that will put you in the past? But best of luck to everyone. It's a crazy world out there. And with that, I'm going to be saying bye-bye.